All right, we're recording. So happy Tuesday. I'm so happy to be here with you all. My girl Stacy and I will be hosting tonight a little glimpse into coaching. And I, in particular, I'm really excited because it's the first one of 2021.
I
We do
know.
this monthly, but the first one is always like, yes, let's kick off the year. So I'm so thankful that you guys are all here and that you're going to spend a little bit of your night with us. So let me introduce myself really quickly and then I'll pass it over to Stacy. But my name is Suzette Solares for those that don't know me. And I know there's going to be people that can hop on, but they'll be listening to the recording. So just in case, I'm a wife, I'm a mom to two boys, 14 and 10, and I'm a substitute teacher pre-COVID. With COVID, I haven't been able to go back. And I'm also their cross country coach for that school. I basically was a paralegal before I decided to become a stay at home mom. And I'll get into my story, but I am a full time Beachbody coach. It is absolutely my mission. I've been doing this for 5 years and I absolutely love it. So I do have a little doggy named Toby. He is my absolute obsession. I'm obsessed. I'm in love. He's my everything. So I'm a dog mom as well. And yeah, here to absolutely pour into you tonight. And if you take nothing away from me to from tonight's call, which I know you will, look at it, just come in with an open heart, an open mind, and know that we are going to educate you in some way that you're going to absolutely probably value and take with you forever. So, Stace, handing it over to you, my friend.
Hi, guys. Just wanted to say hello and welcome you guys tonight. Thank you guys for being on. Melissa, I get to see you again. I know you were with us the other day, which was really cool. I am 41 years young. I have two kids. My son, Ryan, he is 11. And my daughter is 30, but no, she's not. She's really 5. That's how she acts. And I love it. And Ryan, my son, is in the 5th grade, and our daughter, I just kind of, I said, forget kindergarten with this whole COVID thing. So she's literally just living her best life at home, and I get to have her for one more extra year. And I got to tell you, like, I love it. I have a husband. His name is John. We were married in 2006. But I have been with my husband since I was 17 years old. So I am thankful for that. I'm thankful for retention and a lot of love in that retention. And I'm a mom. I am a hairdresser of 14 years. And I am so thankful to be here and part of Beachbody and sharing with you what could potentially be a really cool future and some really cool dreams could happen. So thanks for coming with an open heart.
Absolutely. All right. So we have a little presentation for you that I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And that way you guys can just follow along. So can you give me a thumbs up and let me know if you can see this? Yes? All right. So this is basically like a little sneak peek, like I said before, a little glimpse into coaching. And this is just a picture of some of our colleagues who actually, we all attended a retreat in Orlando, September of 2019, right before COVID happened. And this is just to show you how we do get together, how we do have slumber parties, which at first can seem kind of awkward, but we become so close that we crave this time. But we also get together in these retreats for leadership. This was a leadership retreat, and literally, corporate members from our headquarter office came down and they gave us training how to really grow in income. They explained the compensation plan. We had amazing top coaches pour into us, give us tips on how to just really level up. And we're going to get into more of that, but I just kind of wanted to show you where this picture comes. It was a very profound moment for us as leaders. Stacy and I were there. That's where we actually met. And ever since then, we've kind of just been working together. So um, if you think that this is not a community where women are literally like real friends, think again, because this is truly a safe community where we all just basically bond in a way where we just want to be together. And as often as we can, we make it happen. So we want to welcome everyone, and we just want to let you know that you are definitely going to be learning tonight about the coaching opportunity. So it comes with two components. It comes with your personal journey, but it also comes with a business journey. And like I said before, just, listen. And what I ask is that you place yourself in our stories. Maybe you can see yourself in our stories. And if you're feeling that nudge in your gut to say, this is something that I, may want to try, you lose nothing by joining us. Literally, it's a minimal fee to buy your starter kit just so that you get your business going. But other than that, you really have nothing to lose. And if anything, you're going to learn amazing lessons of leadership, of how to grow yourself, and the experiences and the enrichment in life is a real thing. So if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself in the chat, we would love to know. Are you into health and fitness? What attracted you to this call? Tell us a little bit about your family. Are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? And what is your choice of work, your career, just so that we kind of get to know you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask as well in the chat. And before we end, we'll make sure to go back and answer any of those questions. So we're gonna get started with my story, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Stacy's. And we'll try to keep it as brief, but please understand that this is something very personal. So when I first started realizing about body image, I was a very little girl. I was 6 years old. My parents were getting a divorce, and so my parents placed me in a ballet school, and I started just attending those classes because they wanted to kind of like distract me. And so my parents didn't have the money financially to keep me in that ballet school. So they ended up giving me a scholarship because one of my ballet teachers saw that I had this talent, this gift. And she just was like, we don't want to just, throw this gift away. So they ended up giving me a scholarship. I attend that ballet school all the way till I was about 14. And at 14, I start getting more into the high school life, and I end up not going to ballet anymore to that school. Um, I go into high school, and I definitely start dealing with a lot of just body images, meaning that I was very, very thin, but I already knew what it was to starve, not eat, to try to not gain weight. I started dealing with all that. So my relationship with food already started getting very damaged since I was about 14, 15. Even before that, actually, now that I think about it, I remember the ballet teachers telling me right before a show around that age, 14, hey, you got to get on a tuna diet. And it was just eating tuna all day long, tuna and grapefruit. So I already knew, that if you starved, you can lose weight. Already building a bad relationship with food. I go into high school, I graduate as I get into the dance team. And when I, go to college, I end up trying out for the Dolphins cheerleaders, and I become a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. And it was amazing. It was such an amazing experience. But again, all the relationship with food, and the binge eating and, starving myself came back. I learned how to binge during that time. And I just was, trying to do anything I can to not gain weight. So I was doing extremes, complete extremes. I stopped cheering. I go back to ballet as a student. I decided to become a teacher. Well, I graduated. I finally graduated from ballet. I decided to become a teacher, and I started dating. My husband back then was my boyfriend. And oh my gosh, my body just blew up. But at the same time, as I was dating him, I knew that I wanted my life. I wanted to spend my life with him. So I kept thinking, if I get married, I'm going to be this heavy and I'm miserable. I'm so unhappy. And I started falling into a depression. I tried all the things: pills, acupuncture, B12 shots, binging, starving, just all the things, all the extreme diets that you can possibly think about. And finally, I lose weight, I with all the things, and I get married, and I have my first child at 30. And of course, I just lost my body, lost myself. And my first child did not sleep ever. He was not a good napper. He did not sleep at all at night. And I fell into a really bad depression. And I found myself going to food for comfort. I was coping with my emotions using food as a tool to help me feel better, to comfort me. And I end up getting pregnant with my second baby. And after I have my second baby, a couple years later, I start realizing that on Facebook, a couple people are posting their journeys about either health and fitness, running, losing weight. And long story short, I start like, just obsessing with a girl for a whole year. I start obsessing with her and watching her, how she was thriving. And I start following her and seeing and realizing how she kept talking about this amazing nutritional program that changed her life, that helped her marriage thrive. She lost all this weight, got into the best shape of her life, rebuilt her, like relationship with food. And I was like, this is exactly what I need. And it took a year for me to understand that that's exactly what I needed in my life. I jumped in, and little did I know what Beachbody was. It was a program called the 21 Day Fix, and it was just a nutrition program together with fitness, a 30-minute workout. And I was taught how to properly eat balanced meals using little containers, right? It's balanced macros, in other words. And I lost 7 pounds and 7 inches my first round. And I am barely 5 feet tall. So to tell you that 7 pounds and 7 inches was amazing, it sure was. People were like, where did it come off of? But I felt on top of the world. I felt on top of the world. And I knew deep inside that I needed to pay this forward. I needed other women to feel as amazing as I felt, because when you feel so good about something, we typically share it. We naturally share it. The way we share pictures of our kids because we are so proud. The way you share a certificate when you graduate from college. The way that you share, a wedding anniversary because you're so profound, like impacted in such a profound way because, you feel this love for this other person that was created for you. The same way that we share our pride and joy and our love and our happiness, I needed to share my story with the world because that is how impacted I was. And I knew that I could, make my mark. I felt it in my gut. And I kept praying to God and saying, put something in my path that's going to make me feel more purposeful than what I do now, because I was severely depressed before that. So I decided to become a coach. And I knew nothing. I had no experience. I didn't know what that was, really what it was about, but I just knew that I had to pay it forward. And I just started sharing my journey on social media. And as you can see in these pictures, you can see my transformations, how I was before and how I am now. And I just started sharing, and people naturally were just saying, hey, Susie, what are you doing? Give me more information. And I just started helping people. And 5 years later, I am still here, thriving in my marriage. I've become the best mommy to my boys because I was not the best mommy 5 years ago. I actually was giving them my scraps. I wasn't giving them my best. I am super fulfilled with this business, and it's all because I hold the title of a coach. And maybe you could see yourself in my story, maybe not. But I will tell you that naturally just started to progress and enhance my life. And I started to also receive an income, and I started to contribute to my household. And I was just like, oh my gosh, why is not everyone on board with us? And so I started to just ask more women, and more women join us. And here I am 5 years later, achieving my business goals, earning an income to contribute to my household. I am as present as I can be with my kids. My marriage is thriving. It couldn't be better. And I have amazing friendships and relationships because I've grown myself with this journey. And so tonight, I pray that if you relate to this, you can either make a comment in the chat, reach out to me through text, whatever it is, if it's private, but just know that I have endured struggles. I've gone through things that, just people think if they see me now on social media, they'll be like, oh, what does she know? No, I turned my mess into my message. And that is my hope for you tonight, is that you see how you could turn your mess into your message and not only help yourself, but help other people. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you leave your mark in the world. And for me, that defines success. Make this whatever it is for you, whatever success means to you. Know that this opportunity can create that for yourself. So, Stacy, my friend, you're next.
We could drop the mic. That was an awesome story. And you know what I want to say too is that in this moment, you guys, I learned about my wing girl, which is so cool, and some other very, very similar things in common. And I think that's kind of where I want to start before I actually start with my transformation and my story, is that I don't know if many of you have had, the best of friends, like growing up in school, or a trustworthy person who just had your back no matter what, or who just got you. Um, you get that here. And I know just being in here, the thought of not being in here makes me sad. And that I just love it so much because it can truly rebirth you, not only physically, but I think the most heaviest weight that we carry, which is actually our mental muscle. So I want to introduce myself again. My name is Stacy Shiflett, and you'll see myself in the white little bra and panties over there. And that's when I literally started my journey back in 2015. So back in 2015, I had my daughter, but prior to that, I wanted to share with you a little bit of my story because I want you to concentrate, more importantly, not so much of my weight, but I want you to concentrate on the eyes and the smile, because that's what we're here for tonight. It's not, I know us, we can always look at the physical transformation, but I really want you to pay attention to the eyes because they speak more than stories sometimes. I grew up here in Maryland, which is about 45 minutes out from Washington, D.C. Had mom and a dad, and I have a sister who's 4 years younger than me. And back in 2002, my father was basically our breadwinner in our home. My mom had um, the side job where it paid for like the yearbooks and the prom dresses and the tap and jazz classes and all of those things, because so she could be present with us more, right? And unfortunately that year in 2002, my father was let go from his job, and I was at the age of 22, and my sister was just starting her very first year as a Virginia Tech Hokie at Virginia Tech. And during that first year was the exact same time that my dad lost his job. So he had the responsibility of a single family home, 4 cars in the driveway, figuring out how he was going to keep up with his daughter's out of state tuition. And thankfully for me, I decided to stay home and take a year off and try to figure some things out. But I was attending a local community college, just trying to get those general credits in so I could just kind of figure out where was my purpose and what I was supposed to belong into. And on June 19th, 2002, I was sitting with my father at a kitchen table, which I didn't know was his last conversation with me. I went to work, and when I came home at 11:30 at night, we had found my father. He had self-inflicted a gunshot wound to his chest, and I lost my best friend. I lost my compass. I lost my go-to. And it wasn't until 3 years later, after that 2002 tragedy, that I had my tragedy, because post-traumatic stress disorder is a very real thing. And my body and my mind would not allow me to connect until 3 years later. And it was really a difficult thing because I thought I was dealing with it, but I had never started. And so, with that being said, I understand if you're here tonight and you've lost a loved one, or maybe you've had some type of a really hard tragedy, and no tragedy is heavier. If it's yours, it's yours. And I just want you to know that I completely understand how you feel. I know what it feels like to feel like an orphan on a doorstep and not being picked up, even though I am not an orphan, but that's what it very much felt like. And as you can see my eyes in that heaviest picture of mine,
Stop.
I was still battling those demons. I had a very hard time going to grocery stores. I actually went from heavy set to extremely skinny because I couldn't eat or I couldn't sleep. And then I went the complete polar opposite. Grieving is hard, but I will say now that it was the very most rewarding gift I've ever gotten. And I know that might sound very strange to some people, but it was the only way that I could turn my mess into my message. So in 2015, I gave birth to my second daughter, or my second child, good Lord, my second child, Kenzie. And I was watching my friends thrive on social media. I was also still very much healing. Into the 2015, 13 years prior to 2015, I was in therapy once a week. And once I had my daughter, I really needed to continue some type of therapy, some type of a quote unquote RX pad. Going to therapy weekly was almost impossible. I had a kindergartner, Ryan, and then I had our newborn, Kinsey, at 3 months old. And I had to forego it, but I also knew I was not feeling good. I didn't really know who I was anymore. And I didn't even know how to be a mom because I had lost an identity and I had lost who I was from 2002. So here I am, and I ordered this challenge pack from watching two of my friends. Literally, I felt like it was an honor. They were on social media sharing not only these weight loss goals, but as you can tell, I now know what they were after. It was the smile. That's what they were after. They were after an internal, I am proud of me. And now I can see why, because I decided to say yes and actually see what keep going looks like. And so with that being said, I joined, I'm enjoying it. I do 9 rounds of 21 Day Fix with the DVDs, and I successfully lost 30 pounds. And then my husband's company goes on strike. And it triggered my post-traumatic stress disorder because my husband, you guys, if I remember in the story, I started dating him when I was 17. So my dad knew him. John was a pallbearer for my dad. He actually wore one of his suits to the funeral. And my dad, 20 plus years ago, I think it's 24 years this year, gave him his job at Verizon. So when he lost his job, it triggered why my dad lost his job at Verizon, and it spiraled me out of control. And I almost canceled my membership and my Shakeology and everything that had built me to this smile that was genuinely growing. And my friend thankfully looked at me and my coach and said, "You're not leaving. Let's figure out a way to keep you here." I said, "I need to get a part-time job. I'm sorry." And she was like, "No, you have grown your smile. You have had results. I have seen your smile grow in leaps and bounds and I haven't seen in years. Do you know that you can work this opportunity for your family? Do you know that you can keep up with your nutrition? Do you know that this could be your part-time job and not let go of who you've become and where you're supposed to go?" And that lit a soul firing spirit within me. And I felt that same tingle tug that I felt once before. And I said, "Show me what to do." And she said, "You're already doing more than you know. You're showing up in your challenge group. You're utilizing the tools. You're letting the tools over time build something extraordinary in you. And you're having results, and you're having your smile back. That is 90% Stacy of coaching." And I said, "No, it's not." She's like, "It is." And she goes, "And by the way, every time we had a challenge in our challenge group and I told you it was 5 extra points to post on your social media page, She goes, that too is also building your business. So I didn't even know, trickery, doc, that she was actually showing me that I was already doing everything without knowing. And so I immediately jumped in and I leaned in because I was very connected to my why. I wanted to be with my family. I did not want to be at a second job away from my house. And I wanted friends. And I wanted something to lean into when life was joyous, and especially when life was hard. Because I don't believe anybody, when times are tough, you should lean away and do stuff by yourself. Health and wellness, this community is far beyond a scale. It is friendships, it's rebirthing your soul. It will help you unwire limiting beliefs and give you the real beliefs that you deserve to live your life forward. So, with that, here I stand going into year 6 of this whole Beachbody journey, then year 4 of coaching. And I can tell you this right now, I would coach even if I didn't make a dime. Do you know why? Because I get to inspire people. I get to keep myself in check, and I get to see what keep going looks like for me and my husband and my kids. And I'm telling you what, it's a beautiful thing, my friend. But I also know that creating a safety net for our financial future, and also too, guys, I'm going to keep it real. It keeps my post-traumatic stress disorder at a nice, calm place because I'm doing something about what triggers me most. Because when my dad killed himself, we literally had $22.68 to our name. So money is a very big trigger for me, but I have turned it into an inspiration to do something about my disorder and hopefully inspire some hope for some other people. So that is my story in a nutshell. Thank you so much for listening.
I love it, Stacy. You're such a powerhouse because you really know exactly, what are your triggers, and you're using this opportunity as tools to help you succeed in life. And I do the same. I suffer from anxiety. My kids suffer from anxiety, especially my little one. And because this opportunity has helped me grow as an individual and as a leader, because you start wanting to become your best self,
Yes.
you actually are impacting those you love the most.
Yeah.
The most. So, Stacy, so I want to go ahead and take it over to, can you share with us briefly,
Yep.
like what a day in the
Yep.
life,
Yep.
looks like for a coach? Because many people are like, okay, Susie, but what exactly do you do? And because I am a stay-at-home mom, even though I am a substitute teacher, a lot of women are like, well, you have the time because you're home. And that, that's not an excuse because I am just as busy as anyone else.
Yep.
But I want our friends here tonight to listen to how you are a business owner and you choose to continue this business not only as a supplemental income, but you choose time away from your family to give them a better life. So can you share with us what
Yep.
a day in your life looks like?
Yep. So I think the big thing is, and I know there can be hesitation and reservation in this. So I want to make sure you guys are connected to the excitement and the organic energy that we are sharing with you, because when you're about to level up your life, it's extraordinary stuff. So this is my little private hair studio that I actually launched on June 23rd of this year due to the pandemic. Prior to June 23rd, I was a 14-year stylist at a local hair salon. And because COVID happened, I took a huge leap of faith into leveling up my family. But I'm going to tell you this right now. That picture that you see is freedom built on the backbone of Beachbody coaching. That is the only way I leaped for my family. Because let me tell you, my friends, most of us have to work for somebody else, right? We have to work for their mission statement. We have to work for their quota. We have to work for part of their income. As a hairdresser, my prior salon took a 50% of my earnings before taxes for 14 years. And I did not mind it for 14 years. But when COVID happened, I had an opportunity to sit very still in our houses, right? All of us, and not move. And I asked a really hard question one day. I said, "Are you happy, Stacy?" To myself. I answer myself back, by the way. You actually do know more than you think, people, if you just talk to yourself. And I knew I was unhappy and unfulfilled in a job that I honestly and truthfully stayed at because I became complacent. Okay. But I want to share with you something a little bit more because I don't want to go too, we want to stay on time here. This hair studio, like I told you, was built on the backbone of Beachbody. It taught me to believe in myself. So a day in the life for me is still very much connected to the day my husband's company went on strike 5 years ago. It always goes back to my why. Okay. So a day in the life, I have 2 kids at home right now. I have my hair studio where I work at least 4 to 5 to sometimes 6 times a week. Now, my schedule, I do have control over, but I can tell you on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes I'm working 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Okay. But I also know the next question is, but I want time with my kids. I have more quality time with my children again because Beachbody gave me the backbone to learn time management, to understand flexibility, and to lean into hope, and to lean in consistency, and to lean in and ask 1,000 questions to my campfire squad and make it work. So I just want you to understand that some of us right now too, we have a job that pays for our wages. And some of us have jobs that are barely paying for our wages. And we're not breathing because of that. But what if you had an opportunity to think of this as, yeah, sure, it's one more thing in the most positive way. It's not one more thing in the most negative way. An hour a day, 30 minutes a day, or I don't know, an hour, I don't know, 3 to 4 days a week, something like that, can build a freaking kick-ass business. And you know what else it does too? It breathes relief into your bank accounts. It can breathe an opportunity for a savings account, a family vacation. Guys, that lights my stuff on fire because there's opportunity and a business activity tracker. So a day in the life is I get up in the morning, I say my personal development, I go downstairs to the no snooze Zoom crew. I have to say that very slowly. And I work out with my crew. I log off. I spend time with my kids. I have a set time with my children, and it's not rushing through to get to the next, brush your teeth, get dressed. I don't want that. My quality time does not have to be an hour. My quality time can be 15 minutes snuggling my daughter where she will talk about it at night. So I want you to be open to rethinking these things that we think about. Literally, it's been built on a timer, and it's very, very, very much been built in pockets of time when my kids go to bed, or if my husband's making dinner with the kids, he has his time. I'll say, "When's dinner ready, babe?" And he goes, "In 30 minutes. All right, give me 30. I'm just going to go do 10 quick invites and give love to my challengers." And so I just want you to know that's kind of the short example that I want to give you without going into too much detail. But I want you to know that I'm driven by my why, and I'm driven by this crystal clear vision of breathing relief and more opportunity with my kids. So when you have that, not only can you launch a business, not only can you leave a job that you became complacent, but more importantly, the fear is only there in a positive way. Most of you, we think it's a retreat. It's there to lock you in place and gut check and rethink yourself and say, am I really okay? Am I really okay? And I'll tell you what, I was more scared to stay than leave because I already knew if I went back to those situations, I would have been miserable, still at a 50%, and not being with my kids. And when I was with my kids, I was probably being nasty because I hated my job and I hated my passive aggressive boss. If I'm going to be very honest with you tonight, I would run to Wegmans when we used to go to the grocery store and life was wonderful, right? Which will be again. And I would work sometimes, you guys, 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I didn't care. I'm a better mom. And that studio is because of coaching, and that has no dollar sign. It gave me the backbone to go for more.
I love it, Stacy. And I'll just go ahead and add, for those that don't know what personal development is and they don't know what No Snooze Crew is. And again, you could ask questions. You may hear language that you don't know. I know Stacy talked about how she started her journey buying a challenge pack. If you don't know what that is, you could always ask. It's just another word for her starter kit. Personal development is a power hour, kind of, that we call it a power hour, where we do just reading self-help books, more like leadership books, things like that, to grow your mind, to set your mindset. And we usually tie that together with our workout, or we'll do a power hour with inviting, like she said, inviting other women to join us. We connect, we try to provide solutions, and it's simply based on just sharing what we know, what works for us. And it's about just, sharing our light. This world survives on light, and that's really what we do. So a day in the life for her, is basically working both businesses, still being a wife and a mom, just like it is for me. I work my Beachbody business. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. When I was substituting, I was going to school. I was coaching cross country after school, taking my kids to football, to basketball. My mom doesn't drive, so I would do things for her. We're all busy. Time is not an excuse. You make the time for what is important to you, and this for sure is for me. Because number one, it has helped me become my best. But number two, not only am I contributing to my household with income, but I'm also creating opportunities in many different ways. All right, so let's move on, because we really don't want to go over. So you may think, okay, but I'm not a salesperson. But we don't sell. That's the thing. We share. It's a sharing versus selling type of business. So basically, like I said before, I just started to share my journey, and I started to just say, this is what I'm learning. This is how I'm eating, and it's working for me. And my body just started shedding weight because it was literally just doing what it needed to do. I was being very, or giving it self-care. I was being very intentional with what I was consuming. Not to say that I wouldn't have wine or pizza, but it's all with moderation, and we have two different nutrition programs, and you are able to try them both to see what works best. These are just, the programs that we find have helped so many people without deprivation. And I started sharing, the products I was using. Like right now, I'm drinking my Bevy. It curbs cravings, but it's a natural iced tea. And so I just started, like I said, sharing, the workouts and the programs, and people were just like, oh my goodness, like, I want to do what you do. And I still get people to say, what is it that you're doing? I'm interested. Do I have to go out and find other women to join me? Yes. I am not going to lie. I'm going to keep it super real. That is our power hour. We connect. We try to invite our family, our friends, our acquaintances, the moms at our school, people who go to church with us, our communities, all of that. But you're also going to get people to say, my goodness, I want to do what you're doing. You seem so positive. You're thriving. Because that is a byproduct of what happens when you choose this lifestyle, and you choose to partner up with a company that their mission is to help people live healthy and fulfilling lives. You can research and Google other business mission statements, and I guarantee you that they won't come close. Not many will come close to that. So it is a beautiful company to partner up with. They recognize us for our hard work. They recognize us for helping people stay healthy. I mean, if we don't have health, guys, what do we have? What do we have? And everything that you need to become a coach and a successful one at that is all within you. It is all right here. It is all right here. We are just here as wing girls to pour belief in you. All right. So let's talk a little bit about our team and trainings, just so that you kind of know. We do have resources. We do have trainings. We have self-paced trainings. Stacy, can you touch a little bit about what has helped you build your team and the trainings that have helped you?
I'm going to be very, very, very honest. I gravitate towards the easiest thing possible because I have an attention span of a squirrel, and most coaches do. So I want you to know what has really helped me the most is our business activity tracker, because I live off of checking things off to a to-do list. So number one, it's a fabulous guide. It's very easy. I work my tracker every single day, but also being fully 100% in my challenge group, and also to utilizing my coach online office and our team page. So I keep it very simple. The more team calls that I'm a part of actually give me training, but also the oxygen of the energy that I want for this business. I want that smile all the time. So it's not always there every day, but when I come into a team call, it changes.
I love it, Stacey. Thank you. And I'll add to that. In case if you're wondering, again, language that you might not be understanding, just know that we're here. We're here to mentor you. There's training. We give you the resources. The coach online office that she's saying, that's the your website that the Beachbody gives you. And we have each other. That's really where you learn the most. This is, a company where you basically earn as you learn, and vice versa. You learn as you earn. So just know that, we have top-notch products, top-notch, trainers who, design all the workouts and the nutrition and the meal plans. We don't have to do that. We are not experts. We are here to inspire. We are here to help other people. And we're here basically to just continue to provide opportunity for others. And I'm going to go right into the cost and compensation because we're almost at the end. And I just want you to stick with me just a little bit more. So you may ask, all right, but Susie, tell me, how much can I make? How do you earn? All right. So you can make $25, $50, $100. You can make $100 an hour. You can make 1,000. You can make 5,000 a week. You can make 6 figures. You can make 7 figures in this business. And this is how we get paid. Number one, it is obviously retail and commission. Any product that you sell, you make a commission 25% off. In some subscriptions, it is 50%. Number two, team cycle bonus. What is that? That's your residual income. The more people you bring in and whatever it is that they provide, it's called volume, then you make a percentage of that as well. So the goal here is to just get people to join your team, even though it's all really one team, but you start creating your own little team, and that's going to give you volume. That's going to be your weekly paycheck every Thursday. There's a check coming in, and literally all you have to do is just sell one product and you're going to already see a paycheck on Thursdays. Number three, matching bonus. Beachbody gives you a percentage as well. It's 10% of whatever your team is actually making with volume. They match that. And number four, quarterly bonuses. This is when you start really growing your business. And when you get to certain ranks, every quarter you make a bonus. And they range from $700 all the way up to like about $40,000 every quarter, depending on how much volume, how many people, you have in your team. And get this, depending on how many business centers you own. So what does that mean? I built my business, and when I got to a certain level, I was able to create another one, Susie 2.0, and then I was able to create another one. So in all of those businesses, all of these bonuses apply. So let's say you get to a certain rank in business number one. Not only will you get that bonus, but you'll get it also in business number 2 and 3, depending on where you're at. So if you are here to say, is this really a real thing? Would I be away from my kids and my husband right now, not needing to work because I am a stay-at-home mom? Would I be here tonight sharing with you? Probably not. That tells you that this is real. That tells you that I am absolutely fulfilled and that this is my passion, that Stacy and I have chosen to share this with you tonight to educate you. All right. Common misconceptions. Stacy, this is the end. Can you take us briefly through a couple things that people always say?
Yes.
This might not be for me. What do you think?
Yep. I'm going to let you guys just kind of read these as I'm going to tell you my top 3 that was mine and I've heard from other people. So I want to work on me, and once I get on me, then I'll do it. I will say this. That's contrast. I'm going to give you some clarity. I became more intentful because I was a coach. Period, over and out. I had tried diets and low carb lifestyles, whatever it was at the time, fads, but I didn't realize there was this kind of an avenue. I wish I started my journey when I started literally day one. I really do. But I will tell you this, you do not need to be perfect. You do not have to have education. You do not have to be, I don't know, at a goal weight, because that's not what they care about. The people want to watch your journey. And let me tell you too, you learn vulnerability, and you also learn that you don't have to be perfect. Because I know as a female, we all automatically think that we have to be perfect for this business or in other avenues in our life, right? You actually, that's a limiting belief. So that's not true, right? It is not a get rich quick. It's not. It is a hustle and heart to your vision and why this is important to you. And I will always say this too. We don't know when the miracle is supposed to happen, but we have to stay along for the ride to allow ourselves to meet and greet the miracle. Okay. So that's important because it's there, but you're not in charge when you shake hands with it, but you can really run or walk or trot or sprint to it, my friends. It's up to you, but you get to do it with us. And that's the best part. You don't get to do it alone. Um, it's that there's no high inventory. Everything goes back to you. So anything, not enough time. Yes, you do. We will help you by figuring out your why. I can't do this. Of course you can. When you get a bunch of introverts, you almost become an extrovert. And let me tell you, me and Susie are introverts. We may not look like it on social media, but that's because we feel confident together. And that's when we get to shine. And that's the campfire that we're creating. So I hope that kind of gives you some of the yays and the nays of this business. But other than that, you can just kind of read those slides and they're kind of self-explanatory.
Love it, Stacy. Thank you. All right. So how do you get started? Reach out to the coach that invited you. You get your starter kit. To become a coach, it's $40. If you add $100, you're getting your complete kit. And I am gonna say that to stay as an active coach, all we ask is that you do order some product monthly. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and tell you that you never have to buy anything again. If you want to be an active coach, the goal is to be proof of the products.
Mhm.
That is what we want you to do, is use the tools, use the products, share them so that other people can share our products, they can use them, and they can have a successful journey as well. And I will end with this, because really here, this is just about, in closing, how it's changed my life. I don't think I can tell you much more other than I'm 44. I feel amazing. I've never felt stronger mentally more than anything. I've overcome my anxiety much more than I ever thought I would. I'm actually leading a team, and I never thought that I was a leader. I never even know I had that in me, nor did I have the desire. But there, things are thrown at you, and you have to be open to listen. That's where life wants to take you. And I will tell you that the compensation plan has absolutely enhanced my life. I will tell you that the resources have been so helpful in me becoming a business owner, because I never saw myself as that. I will tell you that there's new programs that are constantly coming out that also help us, combat plateaus and just become stronger, especially as we age. And all the programs are focused on mental health as well. We have so many trips that you can earn. Just alone, we're gonna go to Riviera Maya next year if everything goes back to normal. We have Stacy and I are gonna hopefully be on one now soon in Orlando, so you could earn trips. That's how it's changed my life too. I didn't have that before. Our team is just a sisterhood, and honestly, it's like Stacy said. I'm gonna just quote her: "We are far more than a scale."
Mm.
This has
Yep.
absolutely enhanced and enriched my life, and I'm sure Stacy could say the same.
Yep.
Stacy, close it out for us, babe.
Just you guys, we think about what you want, you guys. Seriously, this, like, do you remember when you were a little kid and you went outside and you looked up at the sky and you made out the clouds? You're like, that looks like this and that looks like that, right? And you felt that lightheartedness. I just feel like this is one of those opportunities where you get to lay down and look up at the sky and make out what you want. I also can double piggyback what Susie said. If there was one gift that this thing has given me, with no payment at all, although it has given us breathing room. Yes. I was in 13 years of therapy, right? Once a week. I did not apply anything until I said yes to a challenge group. And now I truly have been healed. And I do believe my dad and I are supposed to be with Beachbody. My dad is actually at my hair studio with me all the time. And I believe his story was for people to hear for their wellness. So, guys, it's deeper and you get to stay healthy more than ever, right? I mean, goodness gracious, but just
Yes.
you want a new scope in life. I'm telling you.
Join us.
Yeah.
Very profound, Stacy. Thank you so much. So ladies, I thank you. Thank you for spending some time with us tonight. I'm sorry that we went like about 7 minutes over, 8 minutes over, but you know, it is profound. It is personal. It is deep. And we'll leave you with just opening your heart, your mind to the possibilities, the opportunities. If nothing, you're going to end up with amazing friendships, a sisterhood, a community. You're going to learn so many valuable lessons, and you're going to give this gift to those you love the most. So I, invite you to join us. You belong here with us. You are your own hero, but you only make our life brighter by joining us. So reach out to the coach that invited you, and I can't wait to see you in our community. All right, ladies, have a beautiful night. Stay safe. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Just wanted to say